Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Turfcast podcast full-time show. We are not fucking dead yet. Burnley 2, Southampton 0. I'm joined by Simon Townley. Simon, your thoughts on the game, mate?
Oh, mate, what a game. I mean, refreshing is possibly the key word for that. It was, I heard a stat afterwards. That's the first time we've had something like 6 shots on target in 19 games, or the first, something like that, where you could see the free-flowing sort of freedom that they've got. There was some nerves, don't get me wrong, but there were always going to be nerves in it when you're at that position in the table that you are. But before I go into it sort of fully, I was fucking buzzing, mate. It was just such a good game to watch, and I think we forgot what it's like to watch good football. Yeah.
Do you think it's the best performance of the season?
I think it was sort of the more... No, I don't think it was. No, I think that'd be harsh on people. I think Everton was one of the best performances, even though it had 2 shitty penalties that we give away. I think attacking-wise, I think that was really good. I still think we have frailties at the back. They should have scored them 2 corners. We were flat-footed. So, I definitely think there's room for improvement, but I was delighted with it still.
Room for improvement, yes, but I still think it's the best performance of the season. I don't care if it might. I'm not trying to criticise Dash when I say that, but I do think it is the best performance of the season. Apologies if I freeze a lot. I don't know what it is. This camera's a bit shite. It depends on time of day, this camera. It's weird. As long as you can hear me and you can all hear what I'm saying and stuff, then happy days. Getting loads of comments coming in. Mike Green, Newport fan, not even a Burnley fan, says you are staying up. Dominic Golfer says, for once, the whole midfield was fantastic. Ward-Prowse didn't even get a sniff. I do want to talk about that. The midfield, obviously, we're all gutted Westy got injured, but we've been campaigning for Cork and Brown in the middle. I'd have even taken Cork and Westy, to be honest. I just wanted Cork to be part of that midfield. It's no coincidence that all of a sudden the midfield's class again that Jack Cork's back in there, is it?
Well, we played 3 games previously to this where Jack Cork played before his return of late, and I think we won 2, drew 1, and then he's been back in for 2 games now, and we've drawn 1, won 1. So the energy, and 1 was away from home that we drew. So the energy that he brings to the game is massive. Jack Cork, I am on about, obviously, but it is massive. I just wish Brownhill would be a bit sort of less excitable when he's got the ball. I want him to be as excitable as he is when he's not got the ball, but when he has got the ball, sometimes I just want him to sort of think about it before he does it, because he just tries the Hollywood balls all the time. That's my problem. That's the only criticism.
He did one of them at first half where he just volleyed it, and you could see what he tried to do, but he just doesn't have the technique or the quality to be able to do it. I'm going to bring Dan in as well. Sorry, Dan, if I took you by surprise there, because I didn't mention it at all first, so it was very unprofessional from me. Just brought him in mid-brew sip. How are you feeling, mate? Good win, weren't it?
It were. Cracking result. Over the moon. Happy as a pig in shit. Every, superlative you could actually find and use. You know what? I even stuck a prediction on my forehead prior to kick-off. Look at that. Get that UV pen out. Look at that. Oh, straight in there. No messing.
Have you been walking around with that on your head all day?
No, probably for about 10 minutes. I just thought I'd milk it a bit.
Fair enough. But Simon, you're showing something on screen. What are you showing?
I was showing his reaction because I was on TikTok, so I put it on to see it, show everyone what he was saying.
Okay, fair enough. Simon's live on TikTok if you want to get over there. Mike Green must know Dan through Dan's channel. He says, Big Dan.
Yeah.
Obviously, just going back to what we were saying about Corker, Matt Lowcock's in the channel. Evening, Matt. He says, breaks up the midfield. I think Cornet tries to do too much. The one criticism I have of today's game is I thought Cornet was a little bit... You're saying excitable. I thought Cornet got a little bit excitable, but, he's been fantastic this season, so you can't slag him off too much, or that's the vibe you get on Twitter anyway. I'm going to do this one early because I think this one will be a good debate. Man of the match shouts. I think there's a few. Ooh. I'm going to go... There's a few that I'm not going to mention the names of who played well in my head because I think it should be obvious. A lot of people played well. Get the comments in as well. Let me know your man of the match and we'll put them on the screen. I'm going to go Connor Roberts. He was class. And I have been one of the people that wanted Lawton in the team because I think he's better defensively. I've always said Roberts is probably better going forward, and I think he showed that again tonight. But he was just class defensively and going forward. So Connor Roberts for me. Simon, I'm going to come to you first because you look puzzled.
No, sorry, I was just trying to rest my phone. I agree. Okay. I think that it was Connor Roberts' best performance in the Burnley shirt by a country mile, not even a little bit. 100%. It was. 100%. He had the full range, but almost, can we just admit that we were right in saying that he played better today in a wing back role? I know that we played a flat 4-4-2, but he was up the pitch, and this is what we noticed. He was getting back. Granted, in the second half, he brought Lawton on there just to sort of shore it up a bit, because there was a few times where he was getting tired, Roberts, in the tracking back. But his general footballing play, linking it up, getting in attacking positions, and then scoring a worlder. It's that wing back role and a winger role that suits him down to a T, and that's why I think he had his best performance today.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Daniel, yourself, who are you going to give man of the match to?
As you said, quite a few contenders. Dwight McUnreal, as what I've seen a lot of people saying. Honestly, it looked like
the tune's changed there, hasn't it?
I know. To be fair, though, it has. We actually saw glimpses of the original McNeil in that fixture alone. This is the only problem, though. We've had it a few times with McNeil where we get the one good performance and then it's back to a couple of flop performances, and then a good one comes out of the blue again. If it keeps up and it's a bit consistent, then feel free. I'll take it. For me, Connor Roberts or Charlie Taylor.
Yeah,
I think Charlie Taylor needs a massive shout out.
Yeah, I think Cork, the ones for me that stood out were Jack Cork in the middle. We've already mentioned that. Dwight McNeil, you've mentioned him. It was class. I think he's playing with a bit of freedom, but we're going to get into that because we're getting some comments about that. And both centre backs, Tarky was class. I think the people saying that he don't want to play for us anymore is done. You can't really say that. Sorry, he's not interested anymore, is what I'm trying to say. You can't really say that anymore. He's been class for the last 3-4 months, despite a poor start, but. Everybody started poorly, really. And Collins as well. Collins was class. So I think there's a lot of players, there's a lot of people to bring into it. But there's a lot of people coming in now commenting, talking about Daesh. On the drive home, on listening to TalkSport, they were talking about Daesh. For me, as I've already said, I think that is the best performance of the season. Dan, I'll start with you. Do you think we are playing as well now? Because we played well against West Ham as well. We were unlucky to beat a side in 7th. If Cornet scores that penalty, I think we win that game. Are we seeing now a side that are playing with freedom or playing with somebody underneath somebody that they actually want to play for now? Or I'm playing devil's advocate here? Am I being harsh or?
Not really, no. I think obviously the rumour mill is quite well and truly there for everyone to see. So whether it's a player revolt, whether it's not, who knows, 50-50 split, whatever it is, you can see there's been more freedom. The 10 years of having Dash at the helm, we really didn't get to see much in terms of training videos. Now we're getting them having a laugh, creating songs behind the scenes and stuff like that. So you're thinking, is there a bit of like, they've loosened the strings a bit? The club's a bit more open. Is this part of Alan Pace's vision of going forward, that he wants to make sure that we sort of see everything behind the scenes? For me, one of the best performances of the season, if not the best performance of the season. I think, all in all, to be fair, there's just so much more freedom. So much more freedom. I weren't nervous. I'm not going to lie. I thought, right, what's going to happen now that Dash has gone? Is it going to be that heads have dropped? And if it is a player revolt, then lace up your boots because you're in for a good couple of cup finals.
Yeah. Simon, your thoughts? Because there's a lot of comments coming in about Pope's distribution as well, and I did notice that at the time. How often have we seen Pope do a heat and style throw like that today? But Pope was doing it a lot. That again seems to me like it's something about maybe Dyche didn't want him to do that, and the shackles are off. So looking to me, like I'll just say my piece. Looking at a performance, I kind of feel that it's kind of damning on the last 8 months. It tells me that they want to actually play in a way that they can play now, that they've wanted to play for a while, and Dyche wasn't letting them. Again, Simon, your thoughts?
Yeah, mate. Definitely up there as one of the performances of the season. There's a couple to mention in terms of it. I think there was Brighton away, were sensational that game. Everything just clicked. That was just one of them games where you could have 4 shots and 4 goals. It was just one of them clicky games. Brentford, when we beat them 3-1. Another good one. This one's up there. Everton, the comeback sort of feel of it. There's been some good ones, but this is definitely up there for only his second game in charge. And I think that West Ham could have been as comfortable as this if we'd have scored that penalty. So the direction is right. Pope, edge of his box. He's not just distributing it. He's the edge of his box. How many times did he get the ball, control it, And the speed of the defenders getting back to help him means he didn't have to kick it long. It's just instead of Darcy saying, no disrespect to Darcy, but this is the way he plays, instead of saying, get up, everybody up, Poppy's going to boot it, they were dropping back, they were asking for the ball. And it worked, mate. I don't think Southampton came expecting any of that, because the way they defended against us, I can see exactly why Chelsea got 6 past them, because they were horrendous defensively today. If it weren't for Fraser, we could have got 5 or 6.
Easily 4-0 at half time, or 4-2, because they had a couple of chances, to be fair. And you mentioned that. One thing I do want to pick at is, I know you've already mentioned it, Simon. The bit of it, well, you mentioned that Brownhill was being a bit too excitable. There was a few of them on the ball. They were just a little bit. The game that the first 8 minutes we were shy. Let's be honest. The first 8 minutes were dreadful. The camera's going to come back. There it is. The first 8 minutes were dreadful. They gave possession away too much. My worry is the possession played against a team that's potentially not on the beach, and we might lose that game. But maybe I'm just splitting hairs. Don't know what you two think.
I don't know. I don't know. Sort of and sort of not. Part of the feed didn't cut off afterwards when they were speaking about it, and they were talking about they had Robbie Earl on, and he said this is a completely different Burnley side. Completely different. I totally agree with you that the first 8 minutes we were prime Wickham, and then after that we were like prime Barcelona. In fact, we weren't that bad. We're prime Frankfurt. That's what we were. So to be honest, I understand it. Even Robbie Earl said that seeing Burnley have a game and have 16 shots is unreal. You never see that from a Burnley side. And he said maybe the strings have been loosened on Burnley Football Club, and the players have more scope to produce what they have in their locker instead of keeping it hidden.
Yeah. The strings have been loosened. I think that's a good way of saying it. Simon, you want to say something?
No, mate, 100%. I'm just agreeing. Yeah, 100%. I think that it's almost like I heard the manager, Mark Jackson. I'm going to throw as many puns in as I can today, but I forgot them all now. I had fucking loads as well. I had absolutely loads.
I guess one of them's probably Thriller. It was a thriller.
Yeah, it was a thriller.
Moonwalking
out of the relegation zone.
I'm sick of it already.
What were the other end? And then Dave, my dad's mate, he was saying, "Oh, that's bad." When we were coming up with the puns, honestly, they were all coming out tonight. But yeah, no, mate, I just think that the Mark Jackson said out on Sky Sports afterwards, he hasn't done much differently. He hasn't gone out there and changed it. He hasn't gone out there and said, this is the way we're going to play now. He just reminded them who they are and how they play and what they're about. And it showed today. Like you said, we're not uprooting trees. We're just actually playing football instead of just booting it and having that pressure on us.
We're not just. There was a few too many lumps up to Weghorst for my liking, but it's baby steps, isn't it? You can't really complain. We've won 2-0
on the Weghorst.
Probably got rid of it 50% of the style as what we used to do, but they were still there. But I agree that the shackles do seem off, and we're trying to play in a different style of way.
On Weghorst, mate, I have never seen him while he's played for Burnley in as many positions as he was tonight. He was everywhere up top. Granted, not everything came off for him today, but his work ethic tonight was superb. And I think that's the only reason he got taken off of Jay, because I think he was actually playing a little bit better than Jay today. I think it was just to give him a rest, because he was everywhere. He was defensive at one point. He came back and helped out when, who was it out of position? Someone was out of position and it was on the left. So it would have been Dwight, I think, was out of position. He tracked back, helped out. They've got a throw in. And then he's up front. He's on the left. He's on the right. He was literally everywhere tonight. It was superb.
Yeah, Dwight with class. That is Dwight as we love him. But I love that comment there by Peter Schofield. We have moved into a new era, Burnley AD, and obviously the AD stands for after Dash. That's class. That. I actually like that. That's a good point. You're there trying to rack out these Michael Jackson crap puns that were bad, and he's come out with an absolute cracker. So
he'll have that on screen tomorrow.
Something's just coming to my mind. I don't know whether I should say it. I don't know whether I should say it. I was going to say, does that make Dale Stevens a smooth criminal after recent events?
That's good. You can say what you want, mate. It's not like you've just revealed something that nobody knows. Everybody knows what happened.
No, that's fair point. It's fair point.
So there's no libel there. And if there is a libel case, just send it to Turf Moor House. The stats are on screen, and like you said, it shows how dominant we were. Again, we didn't have much of the ball. Well, we had a lot, but we didn't have as much as a possession as the opposition. Goal attempts, though, is what you do with the ball, isn't it? 43% of possession, but we managed to get 16 goal attempts, 6 shots on target, which is a little bit annoying because all of them 6 are in the first half. Because I remember when they put the stats on the screen in the first half, it was said 6 then. I remember saying to my dad, wow, 6 shots on target in the first half. Only to their 3, though. So box shot 6. I thought they did all right defensively. They were poor defensively, but in certain times they did defend well defensively because they were. This is Southampton, obviously, I'm talking about, because they blocked a lot of shots. Vegos, it were mainly Forster as well, to be fair. 10 corner kicks, that's quite high. Offsides, only 3. I thought it was going to be more than that. But yeah, Simon, I think them stats show how dominant we actually were, don't they?
Do you know what? Yeah, and as well as that, I actually love the fact that, did you see at half time when they were all walking off? You know, we were buzzing, we were cheering them on, and Mark Jackson run on, and he was throwing his arms around to get off this pitch, get down that tunnel as quick as you can. Vegos and Cornet were having none of it. But everyone else, they were like running up behind them, giving them a push, getting it. And it was keeping that energy, that tempo, that passion going all the way even through the half-time break. He wasn't just expecting it for 45 minutes each side. He wanted to take that energy into the dressing room and continue that momentum, because we saw it last week at West Ham. We can mess it up, and we don't want to do that again. And we didn't do it, thank God.
Yeah, Jack G7 says, don't know if you saw Robert's interview, but he said he hasn't changed anything but has given us more freedom to play how we want. That's kind of what you said, weren't it, Simon? Or Dan, I can't remember who said it. Somebody said, like, refer to that interview. So, yeah, I thought, yeah, it's good. It's good what he's done. You don't want to come in and try to overhaul anything. But, you know, there's been a few comments coming in. Apologies if I've not put them on screen, but a few people, I'm trying to find one now, I've been asking what we do now with the manager situation. I think the best thing to do now would just be give it Jackson till the end of the season. There's no point in upsetting the apple. I don't want him to have it, even if we stay up. I don't want him to have it. He failed at Tranmere Rovers. Let's get it right. He didn't do well at Shrewsbury. I don't want him to have it. But why upset the apple cart now? You know, he's had 2 games. We've done very, very well in them 2 games. Should have won them both, but got 4 points, you know, and had a massive win at home to Southampton. So, Dan, I'll come to you first. What do you want to do with the manager situation? For me, it's a case of give it Jackson and Ben Mee till the end of the season. Keep doing what you're doing, and then bring in a new man in the summer.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think even sit them guys down in the boardroom when you're looking at candidates. If you've already got 1 or 2 people that have said, yeah, you know, I won't mind a crack at the job, then sit down and say, look, do you think they'd be a good fit? Because you've been around the squad, you've seen how they've been since you've been in the setup. Do you think that sort of manager style would work? You know, get them involved as well. I don't know. It's a strange one, because, as you say, when Dash went, you're thinking, is there somebody set to come in straight away? But it's almost Pace has took a risk over reward situation, and hopefully it'll reward him in the end and reward us as fans with another season of Premier League football.
Yeah, Simon, like I said, for me, give it Jackson, say to him, right, if you keep us up, you can't have the job. I'm sorry, you just can't have it. You're not good enough. Even if you keep us up, you know, fantastic. He's £5 million. Personally, give him £5 million if he keeps us up. But then you've got to get a proper manager in at the end of the season, haven't you?
Oh, mate, to be fair, I'm pretty sure Dash was on some sort of ridiculous keepers up bonus, if I remember rightly, where he boasted about the watches he had and things like that. So I don't think it would be unusual for Mark Jackson to get a, you know, even if it's an unofficial bonus, let's say, like, I don't know how to word it better than that. But you keep them up, it's worth hundreds of millions over a season, isn't it? So let's be fair, because it's not just the players, it's not just the money you're getting in, it's the players you're going to keep hold of. It stops you having to sort of rebrand the whole thing. It could save you hundreds of millions. So I think that, it'd be worth every penny if you said to him, tell you what, like, keep us up and you'll take you all to Vegas. Because managers do that. Look at when Leicester won the league. He spent pretty much most of his winnings on buying them cars and stuff.
Yeah, all them BMWs.
Yeah, but there is rumour like that we could be going to the US for the summer. So fingers crossed that happens. And then, you know, like I said, I don't know. I just feel like this is the dawn of a new era, as they say. Someone else said it earlier as well. And I do think that there needs a new manager, a proper structured. This is what the 5-year plan is, rather than, I'll tell you what, he's doing all right, actually. Let's just see how he gets on. Because that's what Mark Jackson would only ever be. As soon as he had a run of 6-7 games, it's like, right, you've had your chance, pal. We're going to have to get a proper manager in now. And I don't think that's fair on him. I think let's get a structured manager in who's got a game plan and an ethos and all that, like that Dash did. And let's go with that.
Yeah, fair enough. Just put this question on screen because I wanted to answer it because I knew I'd forget if I didn't put it on screen. Genuine question, as I don't know if I've not seen or is it now different? Is MJ up and about in his technical area, bellowing, or is he more reserved? He's up and about, but he's not bellowing. So he's a bit of both. Every time I looked, he was stood there, or Ben Mee was stood there, but he's not shouting and stuff like that.
I'll tell you what, though, it
Dan.
was good to see. It was good to see Ben Mee and Paul Jenkins when the goals went in. Obviously, have a bit of passion and jumping around. It was nice to see that from technical area. We've not seen that for a while. We've obviously seen Dasher sort of like watch the ball and then lean back and then swig of water, and that's literally
normally
it.
Swig of water in it. Normally a swig of water.
But it's good to see a bit of fart in the a bit of passion in the backroom team as well.
Yeah, I agree. I've not seen that yet, but yeah, I agree. It will be good to see. Obviously, on the manager position. Obviously, we're gonna have to talk about who we want at some point, so we might as well do it now. I'll come to you first, Daniel. If you could pick any of the managerial candidates that you've seen us linked with, or maybe go a bit further afield and maybe somebody that isn't unrealistic, like Pep Guardiola, for example, who would you choose as the next gaffer?
See, I thought outside of the box with this because I thought Alan Pace, being an American, is going to go for somebody maybe from the MLS. Yeah, well, I were hoping not. However, I was thinking with Burnley ties, manager of Orlando City, Adrian Heath, I thought maybe that might have been one that he might have looked into. But I thought it's that sort of thinking outside the box and then outside of what's left around there. For me personally, I'd take Knutson at Bodo Glimt. I think if you look at his CV recently, the fact that he took a team that was destined for relegation and he's on course to make them back-to-back title winners, can't really fault him for that.
Do you know what? Brighton are a perfect example of taking that risk with their manager. The only difference with the Brighton one is this was always the plan. It was always a way that he felt like he wasn't getting the jobs he deserved in the English leagues, wanted to be in the Premier League. He knows the English leagues, let's be fair to him. But I don't know, I feel like it's quite clear and obvious that these owners are brand oriented. And I think that it would be somebody, in my opinion, that would bring some value to the brand as well as the football.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yeah. So who do you think's coming in then? Or I'll tell you what then. Who do you want? Camera freeze. Who do you want? And who do you think will come in based on? I am very excited. We just beat, So who do you want? And then who do you think is going to come in based on what you've just said?
Do you know what? As part of sort of like a transitional thing, because I mentioned it before on the podcast that when you completely change it too much, sometimes it takes too many years to get going again, like Arsenal, Man United, etc. Even the big clubs struggle with a transition. I think sometimes you need to go in a similar direction. So Wilder was always my first choice at the beginning. From the minute it happened, I thought, if we can get Wilder in, steer the ship. He's got a similar ethos, but a better brand of football, in my opinion. So he was my first choice. And then if you're going to take a risk, if you're going to go for a punt, then why not have a go with Rooney?
Yeah, well, Rooney fits what you're saying. This is what I said to my dad today. I said to my dad, if these want Burnley to be, like you say, a bigger brand, they want us to be spoken about all over the world. They want return on their investment. All right, their investment isn't as much as we wanted it to be because the way they funded the club, but they still want to return on that investment. Their businessmen, they still want to make their money back. So Rooney would be the perfect example for your brand comment because it would make people talk, or everyone in England would still be interested in how Rooney and Burnley are doing. People all over the world would be interested in how Rooney and Burnley are doing it, and get more people who've never heard of Burnley talking about Burnley. So I think Rooney's good for the brand, and that's exactly what Connor says there. I think that's a good shout for the brand one. So do you want him as well, or is it just you think he's good for the brand?
I think he's good for the idea of going forward the brand. But the problem with Rooney for a long haul is most managers would look at Burnley as a stepping club. We are the one to try and get yourself into a top 6 sort of management role by flying it and doing it well with Burnley, playing attractive football. Like Brighton's manager, for example. I forget his name. What's his name, Brighton's manager?
Graham Potter.
Potter, yeah. So he's a perfect example in it. So taking that risk. But I think if you get a Rooney in, as soon as a Man United, Everton, Man United for anybody, but you know what I'm saying? As soon as sort of like a bigger club comes in, I can see him being money driven, even though he's already rich as he's come. I could see him sort of jumping ship at the first opportunity. That's my problem.
Yeah,
Let's be
It's
fair.
similarly Vincent Kompany though as well, isn't it? I think I looked at that when people were saying Kompany's been linked with a job. I'm thinking that's a stepping stone to the City job, similar to Gerrard and Villa and Liverpool. It's almost just stepping stones. And I thought about the Rooney situation. I thought, is it going to be good? Okay, his name's going to bring in players as well. He's got that pulling power because of his name.
Yeah.
Again, it's another one of those. It's good for the brand, but it's a risk.
It is a risk.
But they're all, I think everyone's a risk at this stage, and I'm with you, Dan. I want Knutson, and I think he's the biggest risk of the lot. But the reason why I want him is because if we go down, and a lot of people, Matt Lowcock especially, put it about 2 or 3 times in the chat, has mentioned the fact that there's like 10 players out of contract in the summer. So if we go down, I think Knutson would be the perfect person to come in and do the rebuild job that he's done up in Norway, and then completely change the entire ethos of the team. Like, so we're now playing attacking football. We're now playing 4-3-3, fast-paced football. That would be the perfect way to do it. But I understand what people are saying with the Rooney and stuff, and there's a lot of shouts for Nuno. I'd have Nuno, but I can't see him. I think he's got, his start set a little bit higher than Burnley. So it's going to be an interesting few weeks. Interesting few weeks to find out who we get and things like that. But obviously, I want to talk about. We haven't actually talked about the game that much, have we? Apart from the fact that we're buzzing. Connor Roberts' first goal, sensational, weren't it? Absolute class.
Yeah, I mean, what did we refer to him at? People call him the Welsh Cafu, but it was more like prime Giggs with that left foot.
I don't like the Welsh Cafu because it was Chesterfield Cafu, so I don't like that. We need a different one. Lawton's a Chesterfield Cafu, so we can have, like you said, Welsh Giggs, or he was Welsh, but in fact he can't say Giggs because he's a wife beater. So what do you say? I don't know.
That's why I said prime, because that was when we liked him.
Non-GBH Giggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a baller, weren't he? Let's be fair.
Yeah. He was. Can't knock his footballing ability. It came out of nowhere though, didn't it? Because that first 8 minutes we were shite. We were terrible. And I even tweeted, and I had to delete it at the end because people love jumping on tweets. And I tweeted saying, not been good enough this first 5 minutes. Lads don't look up for it. And literally 5 seconds after I pressed send, he scored. Someone straight away. So I just thought, I'm just deleting this. But they weren't good enough in the first 5 minutes. But then to get that goal, I deleted it. Yeah, I couldn't be arsed. Because even against Everton, right? Even against Everton, I tweeted at half time saying, I'm sick of Dash. He needs to earn his money, blah, blah, blah. And then even the pub, the Royal Dash, got on my back about it. And I was like, I'm not having a brand war here again. So I just fucking deleted it. Couldn't be arsed. But after that, better side, weren't we, Dan? Completely. Should have been 4-0 up by half time.
Yeah. If it wasn't for Fraser Forster, we'd have been more than comfortable in that game before even going in at the break. The point blank save he made from J-Rod's
that was the
effort.
best one, weren't it? That
was quality. That's up there with one of the saves that Pope made against West Ham. Yeah. It's solid, and I mean the fact that he's still knocking about playing Premier League football. I think he's in his 40s now, isn't he, Fraser Forster, or not far off?
I don't think he is literally in his 40s, but it might shock me. I'm googling it as well. So who's got
I'm sure he's like back end or not far off.
34, so he's same age as me.
Is it? Yeah.
He's actually younger than me. He's a month younger than me
as well.
Well, obviously, if he's younger than you, Simon.
I'll be 31 in August.
He's near enough your age, fella.
But to be fair, he looks old, doesn't he?
He's a granddad to me.
Yeah, he looks old. I think also youthful looking. So
you just see those players and those names, and you just think he's been around for a while. Yeah, I mean, I saw it recently. Lee Hughes is retired. I'm like, well, God, like he was knocking around at Oldham, God knows how many years ago. Why is he only just retiring? And then realise he's like 47 or something, playing for some sort of non-league side. I'm like, right, fair enough.
I just want to digress because there's a lot of comments coming in about because I said I didn't want him to be called the Welsh Cafu. So there's the Welsh Dani Alves, Welsh Stephen Ward. I like that one. I do like that one. The Welsh Jose Basingua. I like that one, and the Welsh Emmanuel Aboué. I think my favourite one is probably Welsh Stephen Ward because it's Stephen Ward. But Welsh Dani Alves works as well because Dani Alves is obviously class. Second goal, Welsh Trippier. Yeah, that works. But he's playing for a rival now, so I hate that camera. There we go. He's playing for a rival now, so you can't really be praising him too much. So Trippier can swivel until he leaves Newcastle. If I'm being honest with you. Second goal, Obviously, a bit of controversy about it. Some people have been complaining on Twitter, mainly Southampton fans and a few sort of like Everton fans and Leeds fans. Obviously, offside or not.
Yeah.
What do you think, Simon? Because you're obviously chatting. Obviously, it went to VAR. They were complaining about it. I felt when he's taken the corner, when is it Brownhill who took the corner, and the corner comes in, Jack is interfering with play at that point because he's in Forster's way and stuff. It's not a foul. I'm just saying he's interfering with the play. However, as the header is coming in, and then he would have been offside at that point, but Forster's moved him out of the way, and he's already well out of the way. And then he doesn't touch the ball. And I know you don't need to touch the ball to interfere with play, but he's not blocking Forster off either anymore at this point. So for me, I think it's a goal. I think the correct decision is given. What do you think, Simon?
Yeah, mate, I think it's a correct decision. I think there's so many dubious decisions, and if you want to go by the letter of the law and the arduous case of he was interfering, he was this, Fraser pushed him out of the way. If he just left him in his way and tried to dive for that ball, he'd have got an interference to play, and he would have been offside. So he'd have got two. There would have been two calls for action there. However, if you want to go by the dubious letter of the law, I think it was Ward-Prowse that jumped out and handballed it when his arms were sort of mid-heart. They were certainly not by his side. And it stopped a clear goal-scoring chance. I'm not saying I want him sent off and all that thing, but if you're going to go by the letter of the law, it's a shot on target that was stopped by him throwing his arms up in the air. So you can take that one and then give us that one then. Shut up.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Dan, thoughts on the couple of controversial decisions?
Yeah, I thought the ref did all right today, actually. I thought he handled it pretty well. I mean, we've seen it. As you said, the Ward-Prowse one, it's difficult to call. He sort of turned his back, but his arm is definitely up.
Yeah,
his arm is definitely up, whether he turned his back or not. I've
not seen it again since from being on the turf, so I can't say I've seen like 3 angles of it or anything. But at the time, I thought it was a penalty. I'm happy to say that I'm wrong when I see it again.
Yeah, no,
but,
I thought it were. I thought it were a straight up pen, but we don't know what the offside rule is anymore. It's 1 week it's given, the next minute it's not. The second goal were decent enough though. I mean, typical of Jack Cork to be involved in both goals. The second one potentially being offside, but then given, but then his goal actually is offside, and then it's just madness. But I think we deserve the second goal, and he's not really interfering with play. He's just not really moved when the ball's coming from the corner, and it's just a case of he's thought, shit, I'm gonna have to get out of the way. And if you look at cricket and they play that little like noise indicator thing in the middle to see if he's touched it,
it's called.
There'll have been no noise, there'll have been no connection. So yeah, I'm glad the goal stood.
Yeah, Alan Anderson says, how better are we with Jack in the middle? Yeah, we discussed that early on, mate. You must have missed it, but yeah, much better with Jack in the middle. We're all gutted West is injured. Speedy recovery from your
I've got
discreet angle. Go on, Simon.
I'm just watching the game back now, so that's why I've jumped in. Sorry, but I'm just watching it now. It's on Sky Sports, and they basically the one that's offside, where it was offside, where it hit Jack Cork and went in. There's definitely for me an argument that Fraser Forster then fouls Jay Rodriguez, because Jay Rodriguez touches the ball, gets clattered by Fraser Forster, which then means that Jay can't get the ball, falls onto Jack, goes in the net. I mean, without the collision, Jay would have probably just chested that in the net. So there's an argument there as well for this.
If you want to pull it back before the offside, there's sort of already a foul in it.
Fraser doesn't touch the ball at all. I've just watched it back there. He actually just spears. He goes full WWE and puts him through the ring. So yeah, no, I'm not having that. Shut up.
Yeah, I've not seen that one yet, so I can't comment. The highlights are on YouTube if you do want to watch the highlights on YouTube after this live, of course. Just when this live is finished, head over to the official Burnley account. The highlights are on there. That's exactly what I'll be doing. But a couple of people have started talking about the Wolves game and stuff. I said today on a Wolves podcast, and when it will be out soon because I did one for my channel and I get a chance. It'll probably be Saturday morning. That if we win tonight, I'm going to go into the Wolves game quietly confident. How are you two feeling about that one? I'll start with you, Simon, because they've not played for 3 weeks, so they're going to be rusty. They could be fresh. It could go either way, but we're going to go into this now with confidence, bouncing, getting the faces early on, and hopefully just take the game too. And I think we can get another win. What do you think?
Yeah, I was talking about this earlier. I think that Wolves are a very good side defensively. They don't tend to come out and try and score 3 or 4 past you. So we are, granted, we've scored 2 today. We could have scored 5 or 6, but it will definitely nowhere near be as easy to unlock Wolves as it was Southampton today. So
yeah, I agree.
I'm genuinely worried that I don't know. I don't think we should get beat at home against the Wolves because, like I said, they are sort of renowned for the defensive side of it. I would like to say that we should beat them, scrape a 1-0 right now. But I was looking at the fixtures for Leeds coming up. Steph Wilson brought it to my attention, actually. They've got some serious fixtures coming up. They're only 5 above us. And the best thing that if we can go into that game against Wolves, somehow get a result, which is not ridiculous. I'm not saying somehow was in it's like a ridiculous thing, but somehow come out with a result, get 3 points, and then Everton play straight after us. And we put the pressure seriously on them because they're a 4 o'clock kickoff, if I'm right, or R4.
Yeah, they are. They are afterwards. You mentioned the league's fixtures, so they're there on screen now. They've got Palace away next. I do think they'll lose that one. Potentially get a draw. Then they've got Man City at home. They'll get tanked. Arsenal away. They'll get beat. Chelsea at home. They'll get beat. Then the next 2 fixtures after that are both winnable. But they could easily. Yeah, they are. At the minute they are. Yeah, but obviously that's in 4 games. They could have lost the next 4. But I think they'll lose their next 4. Then they're right in it if we can pick some points up. So I'm glad you mentioned Leeds because I did want to talk about Leeds because all the chat is on Burnley and Everton. I think Leeds could definitely get dragged into it. Are they a better side than us? Yes. Do they have better players than us? Yes. But I think they can definitely get dragged into it. Dan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, don't rule it out. Don't rule it out. You know, Leeds will think they're going to go quietly about the business. They're already out of it. They'll sort of have that attitude like Everton have got. I mean, we look like we're ready to fight to get out of it. Everton don't look like Everton and Leeds to me don't look like 2 teams that are even thinking they're anywhere near the drop.
Yeah,
it's almost like taking each game as it comes, and they're not even thinking
especially
that far ahead. What's that?
I say especially Leeds. I think Everton are just a bit gash, but Leeds, I do think Leeds feel like they're completely out of it. The fans don't. I know the fans don't because I work in Leeds, so I know they're panicking a little bit, but I think the way that Leeds have been playing, I do think that they feel that they're out of it. Yeah,
massively. Looking at that, as you say, that's dangerous. That's up there with Everton's running. You know, the thing is, though, I've said this a few times. Everyone's like, "Oh, on paper, you've got the best running," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's on paper. You look at us this season against the teams around us, and we've been dog shit."
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And then Everton go to teams like Manchester United. It's technically a free hit game. They get a 1-0 win, and you're just like, "Shit." So, it's nervy times. Although I do expect Liverpool to give them a right good fucking tonking on Sunday.
Yeah, someone has just said in the comments, do you think Everton can get something from that game? Because Merseyside derbies are always interesting. No, I honestly think they're going to absolutely murder them. And if they don't, then we can pretty much pack up and go home ourselves.
Well, they've still got something to fight for, haven't they? They've still got that title charge to fight for. So,
quad in it.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, they can get the quad. Sorry, yeah, they can get the quad. As a Man United fan in the chat, he's probably not going to like this, but I just brought the league table up as well, seeing as we're chatting about Leeds and Everton. And Matt Lowcock asked in the chat earlier, do we go above Everton with a draw? Yes, we do, because our goal difference is now better than them. So that's why today's win was massive, and that's also why their fucking equaliser last night were massive for them, the bastards. Because we would have been above them now if they didn't get that goal last night. But the current Premier League table is Norwich bottom 21 points, Watford second bottom 22 points. You could probably write them 2 off now. Then comes the Mighty Clarets, third bottom on 28, Everton 17th on 29, and Leeds 16th on 33. And Villa, if they lose every single game between now and the end of the season, which I don't think they will, they could go down. They're the only teams that I think can go now.
Do you know what? That was on my sort of list of things to mention. That was definitely on my, because Villa, the you know, like me and Joe speak about it often, like the media narratives, and the media haven't dared say anything about Stevie G because he was this wonder thingy for Villa. He's come in, he's done it, he's turned it around, got like 4 wins out of 6 in his first 6 games, something silly like that. And then all of a sudden now you look at it, they're only, how many points? I've got it on small there, 3 points above Leeds. Granted, they played a game less, but look at that recent form, mate. That's like relegation form. Yeah. But no one would dare say it because it's Stevie G. But let's see if he gets away with that next season.
Yeah, I think they've had like they started the season dreadfully, then they had a bit of an upturn in form, then they were dreadful again, then they got rid of Smith, then brought Gerrard in, then they got the new manager bounce, and now they've been dreadful again. Without that new manager bounce, they're right in it. So can they get away with that next season? I think they're going to be in trouble next season, but obviously that's a debate for next season. Do I think they'll go down? No. I think they would genuinely have to lose every single game between now and the end of the season to go down. Because if they win one more game, that's 39 points. They're not going to go down on 39 points with the way that we've been playing up until today. How are we feeling then in terms of the actual relegation battle? It's taken a turn again tonight. The guy on TalkSport I was listening to on the drive home, Kunde, he says he thinks Burnley are going to stay up now.
It's mad how much that's changing week by week.
I know it honestly it changes game by game though, doesn't it? Let's be honest. It just changes instantly. Like I think when we did one after, who did we beat when all three of us were on here? Was it Tottenham? We all came on saying, yeah, we're going to stay up. And the week after we were drew against Palace. Like, I don't know. So it can change so quickly. We have to play Villa twice too as well, as Connor says in the chat. Good point. That's how that works in our favour as well, especially the home game. We can definitely beat them. They have been dreadful since then. So I don't know. I'm not going to nail my colours to the mast too much in terms of saying we're definitely going up or definitely staying up.
Can you nail the one that you've already nailed up?
No, I do still. I feel better about it now, but yeah, I still think we'll probably. I just think there's too much work to do. Yeah, I just think we've left ourselves with too much work to do. Yes, we're buzzing right now, but it can easily come crashing down against Wolves now, and then we're kind of not back to square one because we'll still only be with 1 point because they're not going to win against Liverpool or Everton. But it can. This is Burnley, we were class against Everton, then shite against Norwich, class against Tottenham, and then shite for 3 games after it. Brentford being the main one, but I don't know. I do think we've left ourselves with probably a little bit too much to do, and it will genuinely be the great escape if we stay up. Simon, then what are you saying? What do you think we're going to do?
Well, I've said all along that I think we've got enough. I said before the Spurs game, even before that victory, we had private chat, and when I said it online that I never felt we would get beat in that game. I thought we'd always win that game. But the only concern I've got is outside our factors, and that is people like Everton have got superstar players like Richarlison, and I mentioned that weeks ago. I mentioned it before the Villa game to you. Before the Everton game, that they have superstar players. And yesterday was another proof of that. They have no right to get back in that game against a really good Leicester side. And they got a 90-odd minute. They got a 103rd minute goal when that guy strapped himself at post. It's just having them superstar players that can create something even though you don't deserve it.
But that's exactly the point I'm making by saying we've left ourselves with too much to do because these things are going to happen, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll do it. I genuinely think we'll do it.
Do it at whose expense? Everton, Leeds, Villa?
That is a great question because I only had eyes on Everton. Literally only had eyes on Everton. Steph Wilson brought it to my attention today about the running that Leeds have got. Looked at it with a different set of eyes, and I thought, do you know what? They're not out of it. But I'll go with my gut of Everton, if anyone.
Yeah. Do you see Steph Wilson at Parkview?
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers for the invite. Dan, who do you think's going up? Do you think we can stay up? You think we can stay up?
I'm with Simon to the point where I think if we start looking past Everton, it could get a little bit away from us. Let's just look at those above us and take it from there. 17 and above, that's sort of where we're going to be looking. For me, I'm starting to think, go back a couple of weeks, couple of months even. That Watford game at the Turf where we drew 0-0, that was our must-win game at the time. Now this next Watford game after the Wolves game could be another massive one. Massive one.
Do you think?
That's
are you going to nail some colours to a mast here, or are you going to do a me and just sort of like kind of sit out of it?
No. I mean, I don't really like the fence poking me arse these days. It's not nice. Splinters and shit. I can't be bothered with that. So I think we've got enough to do it. But the Burnley this season, you can never say never. Personally, though, I think we've got enough to do it.
Yeah, fair enough. So if we do stay up, Dan, who do you think we're going to send down?
Everton, hopefully. My stepdad's a blue. Can't wait to rub it in his little scummy face.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I hope you don't watch.
Joe aggression, that.
Yeah, that's the old Joe aggression. I'm good now. I'm good now. Someone mentioned earlier, don't want to leave it to the last game of the season. Newcastle are looking good with Howe in charge, David Elliott. I completely agree. They do look good now, but they look good. Well, they look better at home than what they do away from home. And
Yeah.
I do think they'll ease off a little bit now. Maybe not because they're playing for contracts and stuff, and obviously they've got a lot of money, so the players will be playing for contracts, and they've still got the feel good factor. But I think if we're playing a team who's already safe on the final day of the season, who've got nothing to play for, then we've only got ourselves to blame if we don't get over the line on that situation. Say, for example, if we beat Newcastle and we are definitely safe because we're already a point above Everton, for example, if we lose that game and Everton win theirs, then it serves us right. We can't be getting beat against a team that don't have anything to play for on the last day of the season, especially at the turf, I think.
Yeah, big time.
Is there anything else you want to say, boys? I'd say it now because I'm up for work at 5:30 in the morning. So I am going to start wrapping it up a little bit now. If you are just joining the chat or you've just got joined halfway through, the video does stay on the YouTube channel, so you can watch it at your leisure as soon as the live is finished. And I will immediately after this is finished create a podcast and stick it on the podcast so you can listen to it on your drive to work in the morning. But is there anything else you want to add, boys, or anyone in the comments? Quickly say what you need to say.
No, I think I'll throw my man of the match in as probably Court, but it's very, very close for Robert second.
Yeah, fair enough. Dan, we did man at match, didn't we? Dan, did you get yours in?
I
You said
Robert.
Roberts.
I just said how good Roberts have played.
Yeah.
I'm going either Dwight McNeil or Charlie Taylor. I thought that last ditch tackle by Charlie Taylor to stop.
Yeah, class.
Che Adams from, could have been a completely different ball game if that had have happened. So massive interception. So Charlie Taylor will get it for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Connor says, cheers for a good live, guys. Great Escape is on Roll on Sunday. That seems like the perfect place to end. Roll on Sunday, indeed. We can take that momentum into that game, get another 3 points, send Everton into the relegation zone, put the pressure on them ahead of 2 massive games. Thank you for watching. If you do want to watch, like I've said, the rest of the show, as soon as I end this live, now it becomes available again. You can watch it all, or just subscribe to Turfcast Podcast on your favourite podcast app, and it'll be there in the morning for you to listen on your drive to work. And as Stuart Rhodes says, up the fucking Clarets. Come on.
Come on.